Okay, let's go. So we're up to Siman Mem, Halacha Gimel. Siman Mem Halacha Gimel. We're talking about the kedusha of Tefillin. So the Mechaber says in Gimel, Afilu lo niach bekli teich kli. Even if you put your Tefillin in a kli within a kli, also lahanichem tachas margeloisov. They might be kept in a kli within a kli, but you can't put them under your feet. In a bed, that's considered disrespectful. And you can't even put it under your head. That's also considered disrespectful. Even if it's a kli b'toich kli, even if your wife is not in the bed, that's still disrespectful. It's just not appropriate to put your tefillin in that way. But if you put it in the bed which is not keneged reish, then mutter. Then you would need a kli b'toich kli. Okay, so let's take a look at the Mishnah Berurah. Keneged reisha. So you can't put tefillin in a kli b'toich kli keneged reisha. Shehu gam kein derech bizayin, says the Mishnah Berurah. This is also considered the derech bizayin. But and then he says, and also tachas margeloisov, even under your legs, that's also considered a derech bizayin. Now, Aval, he says, sheloi keneged reisha, if it's not next to your head, then it'll be mutter. So for example, let's say, I don't know, you're camping, you're in the desert, or Rahman al-Islam, in a concentration camp situation, you hear stories where they had tefillin, and you've got to keep it with you the whole time. Where'd you put it? So the Mechaber says, sheloi keneged reisha, if you put it not underneath your head, but you put it again not away from your head, im ein ishtei imay is mutter. Says the Mishnah Berurah, afilu sheloi bekli klal. Even if it's not in a clear at all. Then you just put it in a way that it's not going to roll away in the bed. You sort of position it, with the pillows in a way that it's not under your head, but it's not going to roll away. Then taka, that would be mutter. However, it says, the finishes off the Mechaber, if one's wife is in the room, then sorech kli b'toich kli. Then you need tefillin to be in a kli b'toich kli. So, for example, you're in a hotel and you're traveling and you've got a tefillin bag. They can't just be out. They need to be in a kli b'toich kli. Says the Mishnah Berurah in Sifkat Yud Aleph, Tahainu shemanichin b'toich kli, oikis ham yuchud lohen, tachas hakar. You can keep them under the pillow, again, not directly under your head, but they're in a kli, and the car itself, the cushion itself, serves as one kli. The hakar mikri kli sheni, because the car, the pillow, is considered the kli sheni. Oishanichan beli kli klal tachas shnei karin, or you put them under two cushions, that would be a kli b'toich kli. V'lo hitiru chachom elaniach tefillin tachas merashosov kashe ishtet mimoi. But however, the Chazal did not allow you to put it under your head, even if it's in a kli b'toich kli. The whole point is that you've got to try and protect it from ganovim, from thieves, and from achbarim, and from rodents. If there's another place, a better place to keep them, then obviously put them there. But this is just, you're in a dangerous situation, you've got to keep them away from these things. So that would be what we were talking about. If you've got a ledge somewhere, like he's just described, then it would be better to put it in that way. Okay, Dalet. Very interesting. If the wife is together with you in the room, but the intention is not to have physical relations, then mikra ein ishta imay, that's got a status of ein ishta imay. So the same would be if a wife is a nida or something like that. Then obviously that would be mikra ein ishta imay. Mikri, says the Taz, however, the Taz says that it's always asa unless you put it in a kli b'toich kli. Maybe you'll forget v'yishamish and be together with one's wife. Okay, halacha hey. To put them in the bed keneged sidai, again, somewhere else in the bed, on the side or something, that's got a din of tachas margeloisov, which is derech bizayin, and one should not do that. Says the Mishnah Berurah, Sifkat Yud Gimel, because during the course of a night's sleep you turn over, you move, and it'll end up you'll be lying on top of your tefillin. Now, very interesting halacha. You go to a United Synagogue shul, right, and you've got benches, and you've got boxes where your box is underneath where you sit. Are you allowed to put tefillin in that box? Says the Mishnah Berurah. This is in the second line of Sif Kot Yud Gimel. Safsolim shebebeis hakneses. You've got benches in a shul. Shetachas hasafsolim, underneath the bench, yesh teva. You've got a box. Lahatzniya sham talas utfilin. Right, it's describing boxes in many shuls, in the United Synagogue shuls. Yesh oimrim de osa leishev al hasafsalim. There are those who say it's osa to sit on such benches. V'yesh matirin, and there are those who are matir. Aval kasheyesh chalal tefach b'hateva ponui. If you've got a chalal tefach, you've got a gap of a tefach of airspace above the contents of the box, then it's definitely okay to sit on the safsalin, and therefore, although it's a machlokas whether you can or cannot sit on it, like we just said, if there is an airspace, then that would be okay. However, Baal Nefesh should be machmeh even in that situation, because with tefillin you've got to be very careful and try and retain their kedusha. If they're fixed into the wall with masmarim, with nails, then mutalei shev al safsal, then it would be okay to sit in the safsal. And again, perhaps that could be, I don't know, the Metzias in every shul, but that could also be a heta. Let's have a quick look at notes 26 and 28. Two very interesting notes. 26. If the box is very big, i.e. it holds aboim soa, which is the classic shear, from a kli cotton to a kli gadol, or its height is 10 tfachim, al roichav 4 tfachim, of width 4 tfachim. Kosav b'shad shuvas b'nei yoina shechelekes rishus la'atzma. That's got a status of its own rishus. And then you would be allowed to sit on such a bench. So if you've got more of a chest, if you like, that sort of thing, then even if you've got things inside of that, that would be allowed. And then if you look at the next thing, what about benches where there's like a pew, there's like a row of benches, and further down you've got some sidurim, or you've got other things on the seat, so you're allowed to sit in your seat. So he says, V'lasheves, not Shabbos. V'lasheves al safsel ha'mechuluk l'moishvim ha'nifrodim ve'efshel lahorim echod mehem b'lei ha'sheni. So you can flip up some of the chairs and not others. K'shal echod mehem munach sefer, and on one of those chairs there's a sefer. Hoyre hagon Chaim Kanievsky shemuta. So imagine you've got. It's hard to picture which rows. I'm thinking monks. Imagine in monks where you've got, I think, from memory, when you go in there and you flip up some of the chairs and some of them just flip down. Not like the United Synagogue pews, which are just, you can't really move at all, right? But imagine in monks or something like that, with Hena Das, right? So you flip up the chairs. If down the line you've got something, a sefer on the chair, then it would be okay, because it's considered separate enough that it's not your chair. Also, if it happened, I remember on a coach, I was in Poland or wherever, and you've got two seats next to each other, and there's a bunch of Sfarim on the seats next to you. So again, that's a standalone chair. It's not really, so that would be okay. Same thing. 28. To sit on a bed where there is a Sefer Torah, Kosav HaShulchan Aruch, she'osa. Okay, that's not a shock to us. For Kosav HaRamah, Shuhu Adin in Munachim Aleh Shas Sifrei Kodesh. You've got a bed, and there are some Sfarim on the bed. You can't sit on that bed. Even if the sefer is propped vertically and not lying down flat, you shouldn't sit on that bed. Okay, let's just finish off. Quick halachas. Number Vav, Sif Vav. A person forgot. And he was wearing tefillin, and he was mishamish mitasa. He lived together with his wife. One has to wash one's hands before you touch your tefillin, because maybe they touched parts of the body which are normally covered, and therefore before you touch your tefillin and take them off, you should wash your hands. Sifkot and Vav, and you wash your hands and remove any stains, and then you take your tefillin off. Zayin, Yoshin Bohem Vera Keri. If a person was wearing tefillin, and fell asleep or slept in them and v'ra carry, and you had some sort of discharge, a seminal discharge, lo yoichez babotim and yoichez b'ritzua. You should not touch the batim, but rather touch the ritzuas or meisir oisom. Ad she'yekanecha carry me'olav yitel yodov. Says the Mishnah, until you remove the stains, the carry, and then you wash your hands. Says the Mishnah Bura, in the situation where you had just had a carry and you weren't, not like the previous case where you were mashamish mitosoi, but you just had a carry, then we're not so worried you touch mokam hatanofes, i covered places, therefore they allow you not to touch the batim but to touch the ritzuas and to remove your tefillin, not to keep the tefillin on for too long, but when this person is still soiled. And then once you've washed your hands, then you're allowed to put them back on, even though you're tummy, because you haven't to mikvah anything. But you can put the tefillin. You're certainly kosher tefillin. Okay, ches. Last halacha. Hanichnas lesudas keva. If a person goes to a meal, you take your tefillin off and you put them on the table. Adzman brach until it comes to benching. And then you put them back on. For to take your tefillin off for just a quick nash or whatever, they don't need to. We're worried that if you're going to get drunk or you might misbehave in the meal, you might not behave with the requisite halachas of kedushas tefillin, so therefore you take them off for mealtime. So you can put them there, they're ready to go. As soon as you're ready to bench, then you put them back on. It says the Shulchan Shlomo, it says, Mistama, we're talking about times when you wore tefillin the whole day. So you take them off for the meal times because that's not appropriate, and then you put them on back on for benching. So we're not talking about someone who only, like us, who only puts them on just for davening. Arai, achilas arai, near the shia achilas arai, who kabetza. Yeah, the same chudin sukkah besim tofresh lamates yunsham. Now that's important. If you have a l'chaim after davening, do you have to take your tefillin off? So it seems that if it's nachilas ara, just a little small taste, a little l'chaim, then mistama that would be okay. All right, so we'll leave it there.